All right, it's time to discuss an epidemic, and I'm not talking about COVID-19, the fucking bird flu. I'm not talking about the bubonic plague. I'm not. I mean, what's the difference between an epidemic and a pandemic anyway? Does anybody actually care about that? I mean, there's going to be one person that's like, actually, and we need those people because that's the only thing that keeps society on the rails. But yeah, if I'm having a conversation at a bar top over a beer, do I really care if it's an epidemic or a pandemic? If it ends in emic, right, then I can start making jokes about, any sort of illness. Is that dark humor? Am I lost? Definitely lost, right? I ran out of, what did you expect? I ran out of diseases already. But yeah, this is sweeping. This isn't sweeping. This isn't even particularly new. This is new to me, this particular thing that I saw, but this is just something that's existed for a while on the internet, and I think it's dumb, and I find it annoying because I think it encapsulates very perfectly a problem that a lot of people have. Okay, because we're going to talk about the extreme end of something, and then we're going to bring it back to this broader issue that I think I have with football fandom in general. And I realize that the accent that I am doing this in is probably not helpful. So if I can switch to something perhaps a bit more useful to describe this, I know it's a bit posh, right? But if I switch into this, I feel like I can, we can have a conversation and you can take me seriously. All right. So what's happened is I've gone through my socials, right? I'm a habitual scroller and I've come across this this video, and it's a Liverpool fan in quotation marks, right? He sets up, it's like that guy that used to get himself all dressed up and he'd set the camera up everywhere he was going. And then he'd get in the car park and he'd throw up a camera, and then he'd empty the car, and then he'd go into the grocery store and he'd grab all sorts of what do you say, bits and bobs, right? He'd get, but every single time he's grabbing something, he's got the camera set up again, right? Like I don't think any normal functioning human being is going to have a camera set up every single place that they're going in order to record themselves, in order to. But no healthy person, and I realize the irony in me saying this, and I'm not saying I'm a healthy person here, but no healthy person is going to be recording themselves doing all these sorts of things. I don't record myself and I watch my team play. Right now, I'm going to hazard a guess here that I like watching my team play way more than this person does. And when I say my teams, I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, NFL, NHL, ice hockey, all that things, the Russians and the Swedes and the Americans and the Canadians all care about. But this is the video. I'm just going to show you the video. Here you go. This is, he's reacting to Liverpool drawing Newcastle. Right, we got the two angry faces here, so we know what we're talking about. Yeah.
What are you doing? Fuck, get it! Fuck! What are you doing, man? Just fucking catch it! Fuck off!
I'm not going to lie. Everybody handles emotion in their own way, right? You experience things, and you process them, and you project them out, and that's fine. It's good that everybody handles emotion in their own way. It provides the spice of life, a little drama, a little mystery. Nobody handles it like that. That's unrealistic. There's nothing there that's true at all. This is pure bullshit, like unfiltered, raw, from the source bullshit. Now, I'm a little worried saying that because I am aware of the fact that this man has an over 50% chance of being able to kick my ass. But I've got to speak my mind here, right? Because this is, look, like I said, everybody can process emotion differently. That's perfectly fine. There isn't a single thing that can happen on the face of the earth that would cause me to react like this. I could be told about my own impending death and I would not react with as much vim and vigor and vitriol as this man. Either he's gone a little overboard with, the testosterone supplements, or this is just acting. And not even good acting. We're not talking about the scene from Interstellar when he's looking at the videos that his kids have sent him over 25 years that he got stuck on a fucking planet for like 5 minutes. No, this is, Fast and Furious 17 Tokyo slip and slide sort of acting here. This is not, it's terrible. It's bad. I mean, look, if we're breaking this down, You can tell, right? Because he gets to this point, he has no idea what's left for him to do. He knows he needs to fill, whatever it is, 10 seconds of this. Then he gets to this point and he just,
Man, just fucking catch it. Fuck off.
he's got to hit it with he throws it back. He bounces off the couch. He's back up again. This is a cancer on the game. It's a cancer on the game. Because this guy is the natural end. Like, if you're looking at the bell curve, he's all the way over here, right? He's getting his 95 likes, right? Just record. He probably did 15 takes of this. He's probably blown out a couple of veins in his face. Or he's probably clenching the same way in order to get his face that red that you do to take a shit. Right? This is terrible. He's going to get an ulcer and some hemorrhoids or something. Right? Obvious, but everybody can slam dunk on this and go, this is hilarious and fake. And there are people out there that do this sort of thing and they get a serious following. And but the reason that I think it's cancer upon the game is I think most fandom is like this. Here's where the issue comes in, right? If you are rooting for your team and you're worried about what other people are going to think watching you root for your team, you're fucking doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. If you're rooting for your team and you're doing something, anything, because you're worried about what other people are going to think, and you're trying to tailor other people's perception of your fandom, I think that's dumb. I mean, that's obviously a personal opinion, but it's one that's backed up by an accent that would know what it's talking about. Okay? Now, I think it is just, it's a little sad, honestly. It is a little sad that you've got, I think, large sections of fan bases in various grounds across the country that they react to goals, particularly goals that aren't that exciting, in not this way. I mean, if they all did it this way, then there would be no fans left in the stands. They'd all be getting banned. And they'd be breaking chairs and everything. But, they react way over the top nonsense on everything. It's the throwing the beers. You know the beers in the air. They take the beer and they just, it's fucking 5-0 against Panama. Why? You're just wasting a perfectly good beer at that point. Are you really going to celebrate the 5th goal against Panama more than you're going to celebrate the birth of your child? I mean, you're not fucking throwing water in the air. I mean, it's unsanitary. I mean, it was water. It's really not that unsanitary. But I don't know, they add, all the bottles are always telling me they're adding all these minerals to the water. And I'm like, I thought it was just fucking water. I don't know why. And now I'm just, I'm being poisoned from the inside out. I got microplastics in me. And I'm fucking sitting here talking about this guy. He's not done anything to me. It just bothers me. This poor guy, he's not done anything to me. He's just videotaped himself 15 times pretending to be mad that Liverpool have lost. And he might be mad. It's fine to be mad. This shit's just stupid. And it's because we're in the social media era, it's infected every part of fandom. This important part of being a fan of a team is actually being the fan of the team. And people getting offended that somebody wants to watch a match. Or they come to England or they go, I don't really only hear about it in England. And they get the 2-for-1 scarf or whatever. It's not hurting anybody. That's not hurting anybody. But just rooting for your team and rooting for your team like a human being. And not pretending like you derive all your value as a fan based off how hard or intense other people think you are. I'm not talking to one particular person anymore. I'm not. There's just like a broad trend. It definitely exists. And I'm somebody that, if I can drop that for a second, I'm somebody that is able to bring a bit of an outsider perspective to it. And I think that there is a real issue with performative bullshit in fandom. I think you even get it from somebody like Mark Goldbridge. I don't blame him. That guy has a very successful career. There's clip farming going on, obviously, right? But then where do you draw the line? Because Mark Goldbridge is obviously also an entertainer. In some ways, he's a comedian in the same way that I am, right? If you sat next to me on a couch, would I be talking to you like this? No. I go hours at a time without talking at all. It's not like, If I didn't have this channel, I wouldn't rant for an hour about random shit every day. Sometimes I'd do other things. Sometimes I would rant about stuff. That was my training to make this channel in the first place. But wherever that line is between being an entertainer and being a fan, it's been blurred into basically, large swaths of people feeling like they need to put on or feeling like they need to do this or do that, and they're not a real fan, and everybody's comparing the limbs. And so even if you score a goal and you got to go absolutely fucking insane. I love football culture all over the world. I think it's awesome. I think one of the few things that you can do wrong is be performative with it. Honestly, because then it becomes disingenuous. It is basically just a personal pet peeve, and this guy embodies it in a way that is truly spectacular. He does.